I'll drop you off seeing I'm headed in that direction." Not giving Darla the chance to protest, he loaded the beach cruiser into the rear and climbed back into the driver's seat. Only then did he look over to see that she was still standing in the same spot, her forehead twisted into an uncertain frown. "Come on," he called through the open window. "I can't just leave you out here. If anything happened to you, I'd feel responsible." A rustling in the bushes behind her started Darla's feet moving toward the Ford. She pulled open the door and stood looking into the front seat with wide eyes, then hesitated. Holding his breath, Mac waited in silence. He didn't dare speak, sensing she could turn and flee at any minute, like a deer who just heard the crack of a branch under a careless hunter's boot. The moment of uncertainty seemed to pass as quickly as it had come, and with a resolute nod of her head, Darla climbed into the passenger seat and pulled the door shut behind her. "Thanks for the ride." Her words were accompanied by the shy smile Mac had seen her wear when serving tables at the diner. It was that smile that had drawn his attention. That and her big blue eyes that reminded him of another girl and another dark night near Sky Lake. Mac's foot pressed down on the accelerator before Darla had a chance to buckle her seatbelt, his heart galloping like a racehorse in his chest. He'd waited so long to get her alone, to get her far away from the suffocating atmosphere of the diner. Glancing over at the soft, pale skin of Darla's bare knee, only inches away from his hand on the gear shift, Mac felt lightheaded. He forced his attention back to the road, knowing the detour he was about to take would raise alarm bells, silently rehearsing his excuse. Darla settled her purse on her lap, gripping the cheap leather with both of her small hands, and stared out the window even though there was nothing to see but the same dark tangle of trees she rode past every night on her way home. "So, Darla, how long have you been working at the Frisky Colt?" Mac asked, clearing his throat, which was dry and tight with anticipation. Darla turned to face him. The uncertain frown was back. "How'd you know my name?" He dropped his eyes to her chest. Her face flushed a pretty pink as she looked down to see the plastic name tag pinned to her brown polyester uniform. She giggled and raised a self-conscious hand to brush back a wayward strand of short, dark hair. "Well, I guess it is pretty obvious," she said, relaxing back against the seat. "And I've seen you at the diner. You're there a lot, too." "You like working there?" he asked, hoping to keep her talking, wanting to draw her attention away from the road. "Yes, sir," she said with a nod, "and I sure do like the tips." "Oh, no need to call me sir." Mac saw the turnoff to the lake coming up on his left. He took a deep breath and kept talking. "You can just call me Mac. That's what my daddy always called me." Mac looked in the rearview mirror to make sure the road was clear. "It's kind of like a nickname, I guess." "Well, my daddy never called me anything," she muttered, her eyes shifting back to the dark night outside her window. "Never met the man, actually." Turning the Ford onto Sky Lake Trail, Mac cleared his throat, sensing her stiffen next to him. "Just gotta make a quick stop," he murmured before she could ask where they were going. "It'll just take a few minutes. Save me driving back this way later. I'll have you home before you know it." The lie slipped from his tongue without so much as a stutter. He felt Darla's eyes studying him, but he concentrated on the road ahead. Minutes later, he made another left and began to bump the Ford down a rutted dirt road. "No matter how far you go, the road always leads back home, doesn't it?" The Ford crunched to a stop in front of a sagging gate. One of the rusty hinges had come loose, and the wood had split open. "Where are we?" Darla's blue eyes widened as she took in the dented sign screwed onto the fence post. "What's Silent Meadows Farm?" "It's my family's farm," Mac said, offended by the disdain he heard in her voice. "It used to be a grand place before my daddy had to sell off most of the land." Thrusting open his door, Mac stepped out onto the rocky road and pushed the gate back. The old hinges issued a high-pitched creak that echoed like a scream through the still night air. "Glad there's nobody else around here to be bothered by the noise." Jumping back in the Ford, he ignored the growing tension in Darla's small shoulders